So before starting the session, let us course let us decide what exactly we're going to be discussing for today. Let us decide what exactly we're going to be discuss. First, let us first decide, please. Let us. Yeah, let it be open my class notes. Yeah. So today, we talking about up to this point what we have discussed, guys, please. So what is DevOps? We understood very clearly, am I right? What is DevOps? We understood very clearly. But what is multi-cloud? Also, we have discussed. Okay, today our focus is what? What is AWS? How to create AWS account? How to create AWS server? Let us understand for today's session, guys. So this is what exactly we're going to be discussing for today. But before joining, before joining, so let us discuss about our roadmap, what we are going to be discussing. Let us understand, guys, please, first. So we're going to be discussing about Linux basics, shell script basics, and we're going to be discussing about multi-cloud. Multi-cloud. In multi-cloud, totally, we're going to be discussing about compute model, a networking model, database model, storage model. This we are going to be discussing under AWS and Azure also. The computing model we're going to be discussing in AWS, we're going to be discussing in Azure also. But this multi-cloud, so we're going to be discussing graphically, total graphical user interface. graphically how we are handling like this. This is a graphical interface. We can access this over internet from anywhere in the world. Okay, how we are using Flipkart or Amazon, book my show. Okay, then CLI, command line interface. Command line, by using CLI, or else we can able to use PowerShell. By using this, we can able to execute our CLI commands, and we can able to create infrastructure in cloud, either in AWS or Azure. And we're going to be learning CLI, CF, cloud formation template. Cloud formation template. This kind of templates we're going to be writing. By executing this cloud formation templates, we can able to create infrastructure in AWS. And we're going to be using ARMs, and we're going to be using Terraform. So by executing Terraform scripts, we can create infrastructure either AWS and Azure also. Azure also, please. This kind of scripts we're gonna be writing. For creating servers in Azure and AWS. So we are learning multi-cloud, GI, CLI, CF, ARM, AF, on top of these 4 modules. That's what we're gonna be spending a lot of time. So this multi-cloud itself, we're gonna be spending more than 2 months on. Once if it is done, then let us what exactly? DevOps with multi-cloud. DevOps with what? Multi-cloud. Here is in under multi-cloud, we're covering Azure administration totally completed, AWS administration also completed. Then in DevOps, whatever the DevOps pipeline which we have understood in the last session, we are gonna be implementing on multi-cloud. Some services we're taking from AWS, some services we're taking from Azure also. But which are all the models we're gonna be here? Ansible model. You know very well, we have discussed already what is Ansible. We're going to be discussing about Docker and Kubernetes. We short form, we're calling as what? K8s. We're going to be learning Git, Maven, Jenkins, JFrog, Sonar Cube, and monitoring tools like ELK and Grafana. So these are all the tools we are going to be learning for implementing our DevOps process. So guys, please. So Ansible is we dividing into the 3 models. So total we dividing into the 3 models. So Ansible is one model, a Docker and Kubernetes as a container model. Ansible is a configuration management model. Docker and Kubernetes is a containerization model. Git, Maven, Jenkins, JFrog. We're gonna be we're gonna be discussing as a CI/CD model. Elk and Grafana is a monitoring model. It will very less time. That's what I am not considering as a model. So these are all the models we're gonna be discussing under multi-cloud. Under DevOps with what? Multi-cloud. By end we'll do projects.
Let me stop you in this. I have one query.
Please.
So, as you saying, DevOps with multi-cloud. So, for tell me, if we are using AWS and Azure, so AWS and Azure must they have their own CI/CD pipeline? Then why we are going for open source Jenkins?
No, Jenkins is first we have learned Jenkins also we're gonna be implementing internally in Azure pipeline.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, but Jenkins, for just like suppose if we are using GitLab, then we don't go for mostly for CI/CD pipeline only in GitLab.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can able to do that, right?
Agreed, and we need to learn at least base core level, that's what.
Okay,
We have to learn base level, because of, without Azure, for example, you're not using Azure, we're not using GitLab, what we need to do?
okay. Yeah, that is a common
It-
this open
It's
source tool.
common
That's
for all,
why.
So even by using Jenkins, we can implementing without cloud also. For example, you have a physical environment on top of what we need to do.
Hmm.
Maybe Jenkins might be used in Azure, AWS, maybe tomorrow another cloud. Maybe in that feature is not available. Then what we need to do? In that
Okay.
case, this is a common setup for all. Whether you go for cloud or not, physical environment, virtual environment, or in cloud or either AWS or Azure, or it's same for all. Okay, that's what. Yeah, yeah, that's what.
Hi.
So we have to understand first this. Then anyway, we're simulating the same process. Maybe we are in Azure, we can implement, and AWS also we can. That's my intention, please, Surya Prakash. Yeah, great.
Sir, we are not covering AWS code commit and Azure pipelines.
Yeah, definitely we will be covered, am I right? Will be covered.
Okay.
Will be covered. Okay.
Is it source code from Git or code commit?
Git only. Maximum we are using Git only.
Okay.
Okay. Git without AWS we can use it. Code commit we depending on AWS. Okay. But code commit if you're using it separately, we can the same thing we can integrate with Azure and AWS also. That is my intention.
Uh, just like Maven is a build to for
Yeah.
Java for different programming language. What are the
Like for
different build
example,
tools?
let us go for .NET is go for MS Build. That is one tool we might be in. The rest of everything is same process. So Prakash. Yeah. Fine. Yeah. Great. Yeah. So comes under project. So we're implementing projects. So we are doing, so totally we covering under this course itself, under this tools itself, we are gonna be covering projects also. Like for example, so we covering with so generally we covering with uh, yeah, in CI/CD normal pipeline. One sec. CI/CD pipeline with AWS. Let us say on AWS by using Docker and Kubernetes. So we are going to be using Azure pipeline, CI/CD pipeline with Ansible, set up with Ansible plus Docker plus KTS. Okay. So likewise, so these two are projects we covering.
The project are you mentioning about that? So can we is that the project that we can we set up in the resume or what?
No, it's a common if you got a work level, what you need to do, please, actually. So whether
Okay.
we are gonna be using in region, that is a different case. Okay.
Okay.
Resume
So
preparation is point of is different, but when you are got a job, so if you got a work, what you need to do, what exactly going to do, that is what
the
exact my intention.
the roles and responsibility you're
So
talking
that
about.
that will I will guide you to how to prepare resume. Well, roles and response, how to manage. That I will guide you. Don't worry. Okay. These
Okay.
two major projects we cover on AWS point of view, Azure point of view, but underlying we covering a small projects so individual projects like for example in Ansible one project will be covered, in Maven one project will be covered, in Kubernetes This we calling as a mini projects. Like Ansible, after completion of Ansible, we'll do one project. Like, by using Ansible, how exactly we can able to write a scripts. For example, let's say how to write a role. How to write a role for deploying our applications or our websites on hundreds of services. I'm going to be discussing with here. These are all things I will discuss with. This is one of the project for comes under Ansible. The same way, Docker and Kubernetes, how we can deploy application releases, role update, rollback, how exactly we can, one mini projects we can cover, and entire, entire CACT one mini project. We're gonna be along with this, these two main projects we're gonna be covering also. But if you go for comes under, multi-cloud also, one project in computing, like how exactly scale up and scale down if it is load is increased, how we can auto scaling setup, and how we can scale virtual machine in Azure. In networking, how to build a complete network setup with the load balancers, with the public load balancer, with the load, with the private load balance, with subnet, what is the private subnet, what is the public subnet will set up. This is including with the database also. So how we can handle the storage on top of these two, we are going to be a separate setup we're going to be creating. Comes under projects level, okay? So lot of mini and many projects will be covered, but these two are major, okay? Fine. Fine. This is what exactly our roadmap, okay? But if you want to start this, okay, first we should come to getting into we should aware of, we should getting into the cloud, any cloud, but we are using laptops, agreed, but so we're not working with laptop, sorry. So laptop is just for getting into the cloud. Our work is every day, every time. We are always works with cloud only, inside on a cloud only, but not with laptop. Okay, laptop is just for a channel to getting into the cloud. Once if it is getting into the cloud, then we are working on the cloud itself, either it may be AWS or Azure. Okay, today we can't be do it on all together at a time. We can't lather at a time like AWS and Azure all together at a time. Let us focus for today AWS only. Let us focus on for today AWS, but tomorrow and after tomorrow we'll see Azure also. But so one cloud must be perfect and focused. Then if you are understanding one cloud, easily we can simulating into the second cloud, either maybe Azure or Google also. That is not a big deal. Okay, that is my intention. Okay, fine. So first let us go for AWS. So let us understand what is an AWS, please, first. So we understood very clearly in the last session. What is a cloud? What is a data center, please? The huge computing power keeping in a rack wise in a big room, we calling as a data center. These data centers are located in different geographical locations, like in Singapore, Mumbai, in Singapore, US, in so many regions, these data centers are located. The AWS or Azure globally expanded in a region wide. The infrastructure as a data centers. Data centers. From these data centers, if we can access whatever infrastructure like servers, network, storage, database, if we can access from remote place resources, our internet from a laptop is nothing but what? Cloud computing. But any cloud is a rental based infrastructure. We are not buying anything. We're going to be getting only a rental based infrastructure. It is just like a booking a Ola or a cab for reaching a railway station instead of buying a car. But which cloud we're going to be learning? AWS and Microsoft Azure. These two clouds we're going to be learning, and Google also we can, but so we focus on AWS, and same thing we are going to be simulating into the Azure. So if it is possible, I can go for, but it is not it in the syllabus. Google Cloud is not in the syllabus. If it is possible, I will be covered. Fine. but the services are same. The services are same. If you are learning about the services, the same thing. We are learning in AWS and Google and Azure also, but the naming conventions are different. Why multi-cloud? Because of it is a cost saving, better flexibility, better reliability, better performance, and improve the security. These are all the reasons we are using multi-cloud. But this multi-cloud, either Azure or AWS or Google, how exactly we can able to work? It is any cross-cloud platform. Yes, we have Terraform. By helping of Terraform, we can automate infrastructure in any cloud, either AWS or Azure or a Google. Got it very clearly. But today we focus on AWS. What is AWS, guys, please? Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services. AWS. In AWS, totally we're gonna be discussing about 45 plus services which we are gonna be discussing. These are all the services dividing into the four model: VPC model, EC2 model, RDS model, S3 model. VPC is nothing but what? Network. EC2 is nothing but what? Compute model. RD is nothing but what? Database model. S3 is nothing but what? Storage. Let us understand what is VPC for today, what is EC2, what is RDS, what is S3. Let us understand what is VPC, what is EC2, what is RDS, what is S3. First, let us start with what? Network. Let us start with what? VPC. Sir, what is a VPC? Virtual Private Cloud. VPC is nothing but what? Virtual Private Cloud. VPC is nothing but a virtual private cloud. A private, a isolated. In your office, we have a computers are connected with internet cables or not. That we are calling as a physical, a private network, and that we can't be accessed outside world. Am I right? Whatever we have in office, in your office, the computers are connected with the internet cable. That is a private network. So the office, a office kind of a private network, an isolated private network, if we can able to access our internet in a virtual form, is nothing but what VPC, guys, please. The isolated private network, if we can able to access our internet in virtual form, is nothing but what? VPC. Anybody can able to getting into the cloud, either you and me, anybody can able to getting into the cloud by creating an account like Facebook, Amazon, Book My Show. By creating account, we can able to getting into the AWS. Once if it is getting into the AWS, we can able to create infrastructure. We can able to create a network. This is your network. This is my network. This is my friend's network. Once if it is successfully create a network, once if it is successfully create a network, on top of we can able to create a resources. These resources, who can access, who can't be accessed, we're gonna be writing a rules and regulation. This is my private section. This is my section. This is in my friend section. How exactly your 10th floor building or office, first floor is your office, second floor your friend's office, your third floor. So each and everything is an isolated or not. If you're working your office, you can't be access of a second floor office laptops, am I right? The same in the cloud also. We can able to create n number of networks, virtual network. On top of, we can able to create an infrastructure, and we can able to control by us, but not by anybody. So you can't be an access other resources. Others cannot be access your resources. It is completely secure. But let us understand what is EC2. What is EC2, guys, please? Elastic Compute Cloud. By helping of EC2, by helping of EC2, we can able to create servers and with virtual form, guys, please. So for example, what is EC2? What are the meaning of compute, RAM, CPU? These are all we calling as what computing or not. The computing power, if we can access over internet in a flexible form, an elastic form, it is a scale up and scale down kind of computing power. If we can access over internet, we calling as what? EC2, 1E, 2Cs. That's what EC2. By using EC2, we can able to create a server. Server is just like a laptop, which are all the components available in a laptop. The same components we can able to use in a server. But see, server is just for laptop. Just for your laptop is just for home purpose, like browsing, internet, practicing DevOps, working for in the environment. We are gonna. But the server is not like that. Server is not like that. Server is for deploying our application, and we can able to maintain our application 24/6/7. Like for example, it's a Netflix. I want to place a Netflix kind of application. How can I? So exactly I can. So what is the first step, please? I need to create a network. On top of network, we're going to be creating a server. On top of the server, we're placing a Netflix kind of application. Once if it is placed, we can access over internet like this. How we are accessing right now the same way. But what about customer information? Where exactly we can able to maintain by using database. So by using RDS, by using relational database services, we can able to get a database like MySQL, Oracle kind of databases. So by using VPC, we can able to get a network. By using VPC, we can able to get a server. By using RDS, we can able to get a database. Sir, why we are using Netflix? What are the major purpose? Maybe it is a browsing videos, web series, am I right? If it is a Blu-ray print, if it is a large file like a 6 GB file, can able to inserting into the database? No, it is not possible. So we are gonna be using external storage called simple storage services. Simple storage services, 3S, that's what S3. The S3 is a first cloud service provider in the world by AWS. Got it? So for S3, for S3, for S3, for explanation purpose S3, by using S3, we can able to upload, we can able to download any kind of file over internet without depending on operating system, without depending on any database. Okay. So the best example for S3 bucket is this Google Drive. How we can upload, how we can able to download the files. The same way, we can able to download, we can able to upload any kind of file over internet into this bucket. Okay, that means so by using cloud, any cloud, we can able to get a networking services, computing services, database services, and storage services, either by AWS or by Azure. Okay, then so which are all the projects we gonna be covered in under multi-cloud? Auto scaling project one, either in AWS or Azure, with help of Terraform also. And we're going to be implementing project called network, how we can able to build comprehensive the complete network setup either in either in AWS or Azure. So these three things we are going to be implementing under comes under multi-cloud as an administration part. Yeah, so this is what exactly cloud. Okay, but so just let it be getting into the AWS for today. How exactly we can able to getting into the AWS? Just like a Facebook, I mean, how we you sign up and sign in Facebook, Gmail the same way. But let it be provide a document. Okay, one document is already prepared for creating AWS account. I will let it be download and let it be upload into the chat box. So please Please be download this document and open it in your laptop. And by following this document, please be create AWS account. Please be create AWS account. What are the first step, please? So AWS console. Please search for AWS console. Click on very first link. Click on create a new account. Provide your details like email address, password, confirm password, account name. Fill your all the details like your personal data, your phone number, your communication address. Then provide your debit card only, not for credit card. Okay, don't use credit card. Please use only debit card. Please use only debit card, not for credit. Okay. Once if it is provide OTP, it will detect 2 rupees and it will revert back to your account within 24 hours. Please provide any working email, working phone number, and by OTP you will verify your phone number by choosing a basic plan. Look at here. We should be choose basic plan. Don't go for developer plan, business plan. It will charge heavily. So by choosing a basic plan, your account will be activated. Once if it is inactivated, you can able to log in by using your credential. You will be landing into this page. Yeah, I already create. That's what I'm not showing that, but I can able to show you. Yeah, how to log in. Please search for what AWS console. Very first link. So if you don't have an account, please click on create, or else if you already have an account, please be signing. Yeah, it is already signed in. That's what it is directly landing into this page. I want to show you, but let it be signed out and sign in again. AWS console. Sign in console. So sign in with root account. Provide your email address. Provide your password. And I already set a multi-factor authentication in my mobile. Without mobile, I can't be logged in. But in your case, please be skip it. It is not mandated. It is already linked with my mobile. That's what. Without mobile, I can't be logged in this. Three five three 235 triple three. Yeah. So once if it is done, you are going to be landing under the cloud. Once if it is landing under the cloud, and we can able to create compute EC2 model S3, networking, IAM, CloudWatch, Dynamic, EFS, whatever, anything, whatever maybe. But today we're going to be discussing about EC2. What is EC2? As we have discussed already, EC2 means what? By using EC2, we can able to create a server or not. By using EC2, can we able to create a server or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. EC2 means what? Compute model. Okay. By using compute model, we can able to create a server. But how to create a server? What is EC2 first of all? EC2 means what exactly? Elastic Compute Cloud. Just you think like your desktop. You think EC2 means what? You just like think your desktop. Which are all the components available in your laptop? The same component. What is an advantage of EC2? Is scalable computing capacity, not a fixed one. We can launch as much as few virtual machine as fast as without paying an upfront amount. So we can deploy our application as fast as. Once if it use based on users, we're gonna be parent. That is what exactly EC2. In EC2, which are all the components available? So which are all the components available in laptop? Same component we are using in EC2 only. If you look at your basic computer, which are all the component? Operating system, CPU, hard disk, RAM, firewall, NICAD or not, tell me. The same component we are going to be using REC2 instance only. But naming conventions are different. In your desktop, we're calling as an operating system. Here is AMI, here is a CPU, here is instance, here is a hard drive, here is EBS, here is a RAM, here is a RAM, here is a firewall, security group, network card, IP address. The naming conventions are different, but the same process, same components. Shall we try to create? Shall we try to create? After create and login AWS account. So choose EC2 service. Okay. Once if you do choose launch instance. Instance is nothing but what server. Once if you do choose Ubuntu Linux AMI. It is nothing but a operating system. Then choose T2 micro. It has 1 core CPU and 1 GB RAM. Then create new PEM file. PEM file, it is just like a password. And how you logging your laptop by password, the same way. Once if it is correct, choose a default network which is already created. Choose security group as SSH HTTP. What is SSH, guys, please? We can able to log in from Linux to Linux by using SSH. We can able to log in from Linux to Linux. But what about HTTP? HTTP means what? We can access internet. Once if it is chosen, choose a default EBS root wall. It is just like a hard disk. By choosing launch instance, we can create a sub. Shall we? Shall we implement this? Yeah, we are already logged in. Choose search for what EC2. Launch instance. How many servers you want? As much as, but I'm recommend only one. As a free trial, I recommend only one server at a time. Okay. Then the server is, I want to make the server as what? Web server. I want to make the server as what? So please we choose instance count and name. Then if it is scroll down, please use Ubuntu or Debian. Let us go for Debian for today. Tomorrow I'll go for Ubuntu. Debian is Linux machine. Red Hat is Linux. Windows machine. You can choose Windows also. We can choose Amazon Linux also. Based on requirement, yeah. We can choose any operating system. We are going to be choosing T2 Micro. It has 1 core CPU, 1 GB RAM. It is a 750 hours free. T2 Micro. 750 hours free per month. Per every month. By using this, we can able to practice without paying any amount. And we're gonna be using an existing PEM file, which is already created previous classes, or else if you are a first time, please be create a new PEM file. PEM file is just like a password. My key, what is the date for today? 02 July 25. Just to be click on create, automatically the PEM file will be downloaded. If you're losing this PEM file, that means you're gonna be losing server also. Please be secure this PEM file somewhere else in a laptop. Once if it is scrolled on, choose a default network. So SSH, security group as what? Security group as what? SSH and HTTP. What is SSH? What is SSH? What is HTTP? We discussed. And 8 GB of default hard disk. Default EBS root volume. It is nothing but what? Hard disk. By choosing these are all the configuration. By choosing these are all the configuration. If it is click on launch instance, automatically we are going to be creating server in the cloud or no? Yes or no? But did he pay anything? A friend? Did he pay anything, guys, please? Did he pay anything, single rupee? Nothing, but shall we get a server or no? Yes or no? Am I right or wrong? Without paying any single rupee, can able to getting into the cloud or not? Obviously, we can. But in physical environment, without paying any single rupee, can able to buy a laptop? No. Even if you're paying 100% amount, it will take time to 1 day minimum. But what about physical service? Can able to get it within a day? No. But without paying any amount, whatever you want, we can able to get it to server within a less than a minute or not. Based on usage, we're gonna be pay rent later. But the 750 hours free, that's what we're not paying also. So what is the cloud computing as we discussed in the beginning? What is the cloud computing? The remote placed in US, the remote placed in US East, one of the data center name called 2A. In the data center, we successfully created a virtual machine. That virtual machine we can able to access. How we can able to use these virtual machines? How exactly we can able to use this server? We'll discuss that tomorrow. Please be practice up to this point. Tomorrow will be continued. Tomorrow our agenda is what? How we can use this service. How we can use this service. That is an exactly class for tomorrow. So any questions, guys, please?
So we are not going with custom VPC and customer security groups.
Today we can't learn all those things at a time, right?
Moving forward.
Yeah, that's what. So as we scheduled, see, as per we discussed, so we starting with what? Compute.
Uh, uh, um,
Okay.
can you show any?
One second. A networking model. Networking model itself will take 1 month. Basic, we start from the scratch. What is the networking? What is the subnet? What is the private IP, public IP, router, NAT, classful, classless, everything. We'll discuss. And then we'll start implementing on AWS and Azure. How we can implement those concepts in networking concept. That's what I shown you very clearly. So what kind of projects will implementing and this is one of the project in networking concepts only. It is a complete comprehensive networking we are going to be built. Yeah, please continue, Surya Prakash.
Uh, Can you show me which notes? Can you show what's note you are providing to us, and any interview questions means what
Yeah,
kind of backup?
I will provide. I will provide. Don't worry. I will show. I will. Yeah. Prakash, I will provide. Interview question and answers I will provide. Yeah. So that's it. Any questions, guys, please? All of you. But
And
after
and one thing I need your some specific help. So can we connect personally if
no,
if
talk
you
to
have a
talk,
time?
talk to our admin once. Okay. So please call to our admin, which I given already in the chat box. Ask to the conference to me. They will arrange the conference. You can talk to me directly
Okay,
at any point of time.
okay,
Okay. Please call this number and ask the conference and tell your name. Sir, Surya Prakash, my name. I want to talk to
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, then you can conference too.
Bye.
Fine. Fine. Saik and Sukanya, do you have any questions, please?
No, I don't have.
Thank you. Sukanya, do you have any questions? Yeah, we'll continue. We'll continue by tomorrow, please. Thank you.